This chef is incredibly eccentric. Before serving any dish to his guests, he always claps his hands once. He also forbids guests from saying they're going to eat his food. They must say they're going to savor it. Strangely enough, these guests who shell out over $10,000 for a single meal don't act like typical customers at all. Instead, they're completely deferential to the chef. And for good reason. Cross him, and you might just end up as the next course on someone else's plate. The restaurant sits on a private island, serving only 12 guests at a time. After a brief fling, Susan was invited by Jack to dine there together. When she heard it cost $1,250 per person.
You're fucking kidding, right? What are we eating, a Rolex?
Well, clearly such an outrageous price tag only piqued her curiosity even more. Led by a server, they boarded the boat to the island. Almost immediately, they were served a pre-dinner amuse-bouche, Rushan oysters topped with lemon caviar. Susan was about to dig in when Jack stopped her. He pulled out his phone, snapped a photo to show off on social media, and only then popped the oyster into his mouth. Susan followed suit, mimicking his ritual before tasting it herself, and it was absolutely delicious. Soon the yacht reached the island, and everyone went through identity verification before heading toward the restaurant. But when it was Susan's turn, there was a snag. The name on Jack's reservation didn't match hers. Fortunately, it wasn't a big deal. The floor manager allowed them both to proceed. Under her guidance, the diners made their way forward, chatting amongst themselves. It was obvious that anyone who could afford to eat here wasn't ordinary, so a little networking couldn't hurt. Along the way, the manager introduced them to various fresh ingredients: lively hairy crabs scuttling about, scallops burrowing into the sand, plump juicy tomatoes, and honeycombs buzzing with busy bees. When they passed a smokehouse, the manager made a point to open the door for them to peek inside. The aroma of smoked meats and sausages made everyone's mouth water. Nearby were the staff quarters, which looked clean and sanitary. The one exception, of course, was the head chef's residence. He had an entire villa to himself. Finally, they arrived at the restaurant and filed in one by one. The kitchen staff were already hard at work, meticulously preparing ingredients and arranging everything with painstaking precision. The manager showed each guest to their seat. Jack reached for his phone to document the experience, but was immediately informed that photography was prohibited. Embarrassed, he slipped his phone back into his pocket. With a single clap from the head chef, the first dish was complete, and all the diners stopped what they were doing. The chef made one thing clear: they were not to eat his food, they were to savor it. He then explained the story behind the first course, called The Island. It contained ingredients from all across the island, served on rocks gathered from the shore, with ice crystallized from seawater. As it melted, it would release unique flavors. Jack couldn't help but whisper to Susan about it, but the chef cut him off without hesitation, scolding him like a child in front of everyone. By the time they finished the first course, Jack was actually in tears. When Susan asked what was wrong, he said he was worried the chef might hate him now. Susan couldn't make sense of it at all.